Welcome to another Mind Power Monday. I hope you're having a fabulous day so far. Happy International Women's Day to all of you amazing women and all of you men who are super supportive to all of the amazing women in your lives and in this community. Thank you for that. So hopefully you're all having a wonderful Monday so far and you had a great weekend. I was up at our cabin, actually went up to check out 2 vacant buildings that I am working towards potentially acquiring from a motivated seller. Good morning. And then went to our cabin for the weekend. So it was so nice to get a change of scenery, check on things there and look at the lake. So I'm coming back definitely feeling rejuvenated. I hope you are feeling the same. I'm Melanie Robinson. I'm a real estate investor, just like the rest of you. I have done lots of different strategies over the years, from new builds to long-term buy and holds, foreclosures, I think about 10 or 11 flips, all sorts of different things here in BC. I am currently focusing my attention on New Brunswick and long-term buy and holds there. I love what the market's doing there. I have some amazing boots on the ground partners there. And so we are together being the working partner and buying long-term buy and holds, my goodness, with joint venture partners. So super exciting, really motivated. We're taking some crazy action there right now. We are closing on 3 properties this month. We have 2 more that we're 99.9% sure we're going to be closing on. So potentially 5 properties in the next 6 weeks or so. And also analyzing a couple other opportunities as well. So lots on the go there. If you ever want to chat about those opportunities, but the reason I share mostly is to let you know I'm in the trenches with you. I'm doing this with you. I'm going through all the trials and tribulations with you, the nerve-wracking sort of stepping out of our comfort zone, all of those things. I'm a real estate investor right alongside with all of you. And why am I, as a real estate investor, doing these Mind Power Mondays with you? My background is in corporate training, coaching, consulting. NLP is my training. I'm a master practitioner of NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, a big, long, fancy word for a really incredible communication model that is, it's amazing. It can do all sorts of different things and help in personal development and lots of different things. But really what it is it's the strategies that people run, breaking down what's the difference between those who are amazing at what they do, those who feel really good and do great things, and the rest of us who are mediocre. And the founders of this model really broke it down and really analyzed what's going on in here that is creating the results that they get out in the world. So it's an incredible model. I love helping people feel good as they live their life. I really love supporting people in achieving their goals, but doing it in a way where you feel good, you feel aligned, and you get to enjoy your life now rather than kind of going for that success, hoping that one day when you achieve it, you'll be happy and feel good, and not being able to enjoy what you have right now, not being able to build those relationships and create that success in a way that's truly aligned with who you are, that when you get to the end of your life, you look back and you feel really great about the choices you made. And I believe we can create massive, amazing success and be really good people as we do so and feel good. So that's why I share all this. I'm super passionate about helping people achieve that. So there you have it. That's me and why I do these Mind Power Mondays with you. What are we going to talk about today? What we're going to talk about today is in the NLP world called perceptual positions. So sometimes when I come on Mind Power Mondays, I share sort of more of a motivational aspect on the impact of your thoughts and how that creates how you feel, and just different ways of thinking in order to feel good and create the life that you want. Today, I'm sharing with you a little bit more of a tool, actually a tangible thing that you can leave here and practice and play with. So again, it's called perceptual positions. So what I'll do in the beginning is I'll share with you what that is. And then I'm going to share with you how I feel that it can apply to you in your life and in your real estate investing business. And again, we're people. So wherever we go, we're interacting with people, whether it's in our home, whether it's at our job, whether it's in our real estate investment world, communicating with property managers, realtors, tenants, partners, potential partners, mortgage brokers. I mean, we are interacting with people all day, every day. And sometimes we can have not positive interactions. So that is one thing I wanted to share with you. Everything that I share with you on these Mind Power Mondays, when life is going along just as you want, you're feeling amazing, life is good, relationships are flowing, everything's great, then you just carry on and you do what you're doing. Good morning. Everyone, as you know, I'm terrible at reading the comments, but I promise you I will read them after. I love to just kind of share from my heart what I'm really hoping will support you all. And when I read the comments, I go into my logical mind and disconnect from that ability to share in the same way. So anyhow, so when life is working for you, when things are going well, then you just carry on doing what you're doing. Everything I share with you is for when something isn't going the way you want, when you're not feeling as good as you can feel, when an interaction happened that wasn't comfortable and you need to deal with it. That's when these tips and tools and all the things that I share come in. I go about my regular life. I don't think about all the things I know in NLP at every given moment. When I check in is when it's like, oh, something's not going the way I want it to go. A relationship is feeling challenged, and I want to change that. I'm not feeling great. Something's triggered in me. I'm feeling angry or frustrated or anxious or whatever. And that triggers me to look for what tool, what skill, what strategy do I have to change what's going on. So same thing here with perceptual positions. This is for you to utilize when maybe an interaction didn't go as well as you would like. Maybe you're needing to change how you're feeling. So let me tell you what it is, and then I'm sure you'll be able to figure out how you can apply it in your life, both personally and professionally. So perceptual positions are your perception and shifting that perspective. So first position is seeing things through my own eyes. And that's where we naturally sit. We naturally live our life in first position. So we're seeing the world through our own eyes. If we're having an interaction with somebody that isn't going as well as we would like, or whatever it might be, we are seeing the situation through our own eyes. We are looking through our own eyes at the other person, and we're seeing it from our own perspective, through our own filters, our own experiences, our own life. That is first position. Second position is when you are looking at the world or looking back at yourself through their eyes. So when you're having an interaction with somebody, it's popping over into literally into their body, turning around and looking at yourself through their eyes and what that experience might be like for them. Third position is being like a fly on the wall. So you're a fly on the wall and you're looking at the two of you interacting and you're noticing what you notice from that perspective. So first position, and I think it's really helpful to and I don't know that you can do this while you're watching the live, and that's why I hesitate teaching a lot of sort of tools in these. So I hope that you can take this, maybe watch it, maybe when something happens in your life, an interaction, this will trigger for you. But if you think of a personal or of a situation, an interaction with somebody, something that you don't like about a relationship, something that isn't going well, and you imagine that interaction. Okay, so I'm going to share with you a really personal situation only because I know I literally used this. And so it's this is definitely personal, not business, but it'll give you the idea of how this can shift things. So many of you have heard in my personal world, I have an ex-husband who likes to not pay child support. So that's obviously challenging. Sometimes that can trigger emotion for me. I can get angry. I can feel frustrated, all of those things, which is all valid. It's real. It's true. But the reality is I don't want to live my life feeling that way. And that isn't going to change the results. All it does is ruin how I feel in the moment. So if I'm looking at an interaction with him through my own eyes, obviously that's when I'm feeling the emotion. That's when I'm feeling angry, frustrated, upset, ticked off, whatever it might be. I'm seeing it through my own eyes. And I don't like that feeling. So if I float over and I literally look at an interaction, a specific interaction, and I'm closing my eyes because that's what you actually have to do when you're doing it, and I imagine what it must be like sitting in his position, looking at me, looking at my life, and looking at what's going on. It literally shifts how I'm feeling, because I have a really beautiful life. Yes, I've worked really hard for it. I mean, I don't need to go into the details for the purposes of this, but I can get a different perspective based on him, what that must look like to him, looking back at me, and how challenging that could be to pay money to somebody when our lives are so different. So that doesn't change that it's right or wrong. It doesn't change that obviously he's responsible for paying and all that stuff, yada, yada, yada. It doesn't change any of that. What it does is it shifts how I feel. So I know that's a really personal example, but I've had coaching clients who, somebody's an office manager and and the people in the office the young people don't work as hard as they could when there's downtime. And so, she would go into the lunchroom and say something to them to get them moving and feel really frustrated that they weren't doing what she wanted them to do. And when we walked through this exercise, so she knows what it looks like through her eyes, it's super annoying that these lazy people are just sitting on a chair instead of doing their job. We know that. We all do very well at first position. When looking back at how it might be perceived to them, so sitting in their position, looking back at her who comes into the lunchroom and does that, all of a sudden that shifts how maybe she can do it different. How maybe she could approach that differently. What could she say? How could she do that differently? Because she can recognize how that is perceived by them. Another coaching client who had an issue with her brother and not liking the way he was doing things and, responding, and realized when going in first position, we obviously know we naturally live there, going into second position, what she looks like looking through his eyes and the way she interacts with him. And oh my gosh, it shifted everything. So I want you to think of your personal situations. And by personal, I don't mean family and ex-husbands who don't pay child support. By personal, I mean everything in life is personal. Every relationship is personal. Do you have a tenant where it's a challenge for you right now and you're seeing things through your own eyes naturally, because that's what we do, where you could actually put yourself in their position? Literally what you have to do, and I'm going to close my eyes to do this because there's no other way to really articulate it to you. You have to literally imagine in your mind's eye that you are floating out and you are in their body looking back at you. What does this interaction look like? What does it look like through their eyes? How are you responding? Because that can shift. Number one, it shifts how you feel when you think about that situation, but it also gives you a new perspective, and that's what we're talking about. We're talking about shifting your perspective so that either A, you can feel better about the relationship, or B, you maybe will change how you respond. This doesn't make it that you step into somebody else's position and now you don't care, you don't ask for what you need or what you want. Absolutely not. What it does is it allows you to operate from a place of more empathy, more compassion, more understanding, and then you can still ask for what you want. If it's a tenant, well, whoever it is, you still ask for what you want. This is about changing how you feel and potentially giving you an idea on how to respond differently. If you have a tenant, you have a property manager who's not performing the way you want to perform, if you step into their position, or you go onto the fly on the wall. So fly on the wall position, it's called dissociated. And that's a really good position to be in if you are feeling an emotional charge from a situation. Because when you're emotionally charged, when you're angry, sad, frustrated, hurt, all of those things, you can't operate from a resourceful state. You can't be the very best version of yourself that you can be. So one of the really quick ways to remove that emotion is literally, and these are all playing with your mind, but they're really super powerful. You literally imagine that you like float out of your body and now you're a fly on the wall looking down at the two of you interacting. It takes out the emotion. You get a new perspective. What's this interaction like? What does it look like from outside? If somebody were looking in, how would this interaction look? And it allows you to not feel that emotion anymore so that you can be resourceful. So I know that a lot of the examples that I've given you have been personal because I haven't actually had a ton of challenges in the real estate investment world with regards to relationships. I'm very lucky that the relationships that I have, and I think it's because I naturally do a lot of this stuff just based on who I am and my skill set. But it really is an effective way to shift your perspective. We naturally sit in first position. We naturally see the world through our own eyes, obviously. And with that comes our own filters from our own life experiences, from our own past history, beliefs, all of that have us seeing the world in a certain way. And there are times when you need to, there are going to be times when you have to somehow interact with a person that it is not natural and it's not feeling good, and you need to be able to shift and figure out how that might look. There are going to be times when you want to do that, when you want this relationship, either the relationship to flow more harmoniously, or for you to feel better within that relationship, if it's a relationship that's going to be there whether you like it or not. And sometimes you need to figure out how you can respond to this differently. Yeah, I don't like the way I'm responding right now. I don't like who I'm being right now, and I want to change that. And so how can I see this differently? What might it look? I know what it looks like from my position. What might it look like from their position? What might it look like if somebody were looking in, if you're a fly on the wall? Because sometimes we realize we're not behaving the way we want to behave. We're not communicating in the way we want to communicate. We're not being who we say we want to be. And this really quick exercise can point that out to you clearly. So I hope that that will help you in some small way. If you have some interaction with somebody over this next week, I want you to notice if you have some uncomfortable situation with a family member, with a coworker, with somebody in your real estate investing world, with a tenant, property manager, a broker, here's the thing, you're living your life, you're doing life, things are great, la la la, and then all of a sudden, boom, you feel something. You feel frustrated. It doesn't have to be huge, but you feel frustrated, a little bit annoyed, or you're kind of ticked off and you want to say some kind of little nasty answer back to somebody. That's your cue. Melanie on Mind Power Monday shared about these perceptual positions. Obviously, I'm not liking what I'm hearing or seeing in the email that I read or whatever it is. Let's play with this. Hop over to second position. Look at what it must look like through their eyes. What's this experience like through their eyes? Go up to third position. What would it look like if somebody were looking in? What does it look like when I'm looking down on the two of us interacting and that dynamic? What must that be like? Or how can I shift or change something so that this feels better, so that the interaction is more harmonious, whatever it might be that you're looking for. So you don't want to hang out, by the way, in second position. I just wanted to point that out. Second position, a lot of people that are codependent, that are too far that way, are constantly seeing through the other person's eyes and therefore not honoring themselves the way they should. So this is a bit of a dance. The purposes of me sharing this with you today this is a really quick tool to be able to help you shift your perspective. You're not feeling good about something. You have a relationship with somebody that either you want it to change, or you have to deal with a specific situation and you want to be able to do it in a compassionate, kind way. Then pop over into their perspective. Pop up here. It's just another way to change how you're feeling. When you're in your body, that's when you're feeling the emotion. You're you looking through your own eyes. That's when you're going to feel emotion. So in order to change that so that you can respond accordingly, so that you can be the best version of yourself, you play with this and shift your perspective. So there you have it for another Mind Power Monday. I know it's not, a super inspirational one. I really wanted to provide you with this tool because it can be super powerful in your personal life and in your professional life. You want to be the best version of yourself. We all want to be the best version of ourselves. We want to be able to respond in a way that is respectful. It doesn't mean we let go of what we want. It doesn't mean we stop asking for what we want because we see it through the other person's eyes and now, we change that. It means that we can have an understanding for other people. We can interact in a different way. We can feel better as we do it so that we're creating more win-wins. So have an amazing week, everyone. Play with those perceptual positions. It does require you to close your eyes and literally imagine it. It's about visualizing this. It's literally, you've got to imagine it and you've got to look back. So here's a way you can play with it when you get off. You can think of a situation that you don't like, a situation that is uncomfortable. You imagine that interaction that you had with a person. You can do it with something from the past. The interaction that you had with a person, you know how you feel. Imagine sitting there and having that conversation with them and feel what it feels like from your eyes. Then I want you to hop over into their eyes and look back at yourself. That same interaction through their eyes, what does that look like to them? And notice how it changes how you feel. And then become that fly on the wall and look at the two of you interacting. So you can experience this right now when you get off this live. If you think about an interaction that you've had with somebody that was not comfortable, that you didn't like, and feel, you will literally notice the difference. And I know it sounds strange, but these things are the powerful tools where nobody else can control us. We've got control over our own selves. These are the things we do have the power to change and shift within ourselves. So go make it an amazing week. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on this. I hope it's super helpful. And if you do play with it, even private message me and tell me. I never know who does what I suggest and if it's impactful in any way and if it actually plays out in your everyday life moving forward other than listening to me on Mondays. So please share with me. And as always, if you have any conflicts, any problems, any challenges, things that you want me to share on Mind Power Mondays, reach out to me because I'm always trying to think of how I can best support you all. So have an amazing week. Happy investing. I hope everybody's got some exciting things on the horizon. And yeah, let's just all support each other. And happy International Women's Day to you amazing, amazing women. Alrighty, bye for now.